Marie Genevieve Wiedlin is an American musician, singer-songwriter, and actress best known as the rhythm guitarist and secondary vocalist of the all-female new wave band The Go-Go's. Wiedlin has also led a solo career. Early life: Jane Wiedlin was born in Oconomowoc, Waukesha County, Wisconsin, the daughter of Betty Jane and Robert Wiedlin, Sr. Her father, an oral surgeon, was born in Chicago, Illinois, and her mother was from Oconomowoc. They met at Marquette University in Milwaukee. Wiedlin spent her early childhood growing up in West Allis, a suburb of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. She is one of 5 children, with a sister and 3 brothers. When Jane was 6, her father took a job with the United States Department of Veterans Affairs at a VA hospital in Los Angeles, California, and her family followed in tow. Soon after arriving in California, Wiedlin's mother cut Jane's waist-long hair to her signature pixie-cut hairstyle, due to Wiedlin's becoming an active swimmer now that she lived in a warmer climate. Wiedlin loved watching Star Trek with her family when it first aired on television and is a lifelong fan. As a child, Jane liked to listen to 1960s pop music, especially songs by the Beatles and the Monkees. By the time she was a teenager, Wiedlin was a fan of Sparks. Years later, she would record Cool Places with them. Jane Wiedlin stated, "I remember my childhood as extremely idyllic." Wiedlin also mentioned her teenage adolescence with angst and hope by saying, "I would definitely be a less depressed teenager. I thought life was completely pointless when I was in high school, but just a few short years later I was having the adventure of a lifetime in a successful rock band." Jane Wiedlin attended William Howard Taft High School in Los Angeles from 1972 until 1976. Career: The Go-Go's, as Jane Wiedlin describes it, she was present pretty much from the beginning of the Los Angeles punk scene. While attending college in the Los Angeles area, for fashion design, Wiedlin worked at a fashion design house where she created song lyrics by scribbling down ideas on the clothing patterns. Jane Drano, as she came to be known, would later design punk-style clothing that she sold at Granny Takes a Trip, a store on Sunset Boulevard. She became part of the scene that spawned bands like X, The Germs and The Weirdos. She and Belinda Carlisle formed The Go-Go's as a punk band in 1978, with Margot Oliveira on bass, and Alyssa Bello on drums. In 1981, Wiedlin and Terry Hall of the Fun Boy 3 and the Specials co-wrote Our Lips Are Sealed. The song peaked on the Billboard charts at No. 20 and remained on the charts until 1982. Hall also recorded the song with his band and the song was quite popular, hitting No. 7 in the UK. The Go-Go's pop-punk sound did not emerge until after Charlotte Cathy joined on lead guitar and keyboards, and Gina Schock replaced Bello on drums. After a 1980 tour of England, the band added Kathy Valentine on bass. They signed with IRS Records in April 1981. Wiedlin remained part of the Go-Go's until October 1984, when she left to pursue a solo career. Rush Hour was her most successful single, having done well in both the American and British charts. The song was taken from her second album, Fur. After a series of reunions during the 1990s, Wiedlin, Carlisle, Cathy, Schock, and Valentine reformed the band again in 2000 to record God Bless the Go-Go's, their first studio album in 17 years. The album, originally titled Vision of Nowness, had a title and concept based on an idea from Wiedlin. In 2010, the Go-Go's announced their Happily Ever After farewell tour. Although scheduled to begin in July, the tour was cancelled due to ACL tears Wiedlin suffered in both knees after a fall she took while on a nighttime hike. She recovered and the band rescheduled the tour for 2011, no longer billing it as a farewell tour and changing the name to Ladies Gone Wild. Acting career: her early acting credits include a one-line role in Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, Joan of Arc and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, an ill-fated singing telegram girl in Clue, and The White Fairy in Golan Globus's Sleeping Beauty. In a St. Petersburg Times online interview, Jane said this about her acting career in the 1980s, "It turned out to be much harder than it looks, and as much as I enjoyed those experiences, I don't think I'm very good at it." In 2000, she sang in the choir on the Frasier episode They're Playing Our Song. In 2001, she had a regular role in MTV's Spider Games, playing the ex-rock chick who runs the local coffee house, where everyone hangs out. In 2003, she guest-starred as Hope Rogers in an episode of As Told by Ginger. In 2005, she appeared as herself on the fourth season of VH1's The Surreal Life, wherein she talked about her interest in BDSM. Wiedlin also appeared as the bus station lady wearing a neck brace in Steve Balderson's 2005 surrealist crime drama Firecracker, a film Roger Ebert named on his list of the year's best films. In April 2009, Jane reconnected with director Steve Balderson for Stuck, an homage to film noir women in prison dramas. Co-starring Karen Black, Pleasant G-Man, Susan Traylor, Starina Johnson and cult icon Mink Stole, Stuck was filmed in Macon, Georgia and was released in 2010. Wiedlin has also provided voices for several characters in television and film. Her voice acting credits include one of Bruce Wayne's girlfriends in an episode of the new Batman Adventures, Gwen on Mission Hill, and Dusk, a recurring character in the Scooby-Doo franchise. In 2009, Wiedlin provided the voice of the evil baby Oopsie Daisy in the horror film, Demonic Toys 2. Jane will appear in the season finale of Are You Paul's Drag You for the second season. Other work, Wiedlin contributed quotes to Girls Against Girls by author Bonnie Burton. In April 2009, Wiedlin was shot as Betty Page by photographer Austin Young for the Heaven-Bound art show. Her latest problem is a comic book entitled Lady Robotica which she co-created with artist Bill Morrison. The series concerns the adventures of a woman being abducted by aliens and turned into a cyborg superheroine. To promote the comic series and her related projects, Jane appeared at the March 2011 WonderCon where she greeted fans, posed for pictures, and signed autographs. Personal life: Wiedlin is a longtime animal rights activist, and has worked with PETA since at least 1989 when she performed as part of a Rock Against Fur concert in New York City. She is a close friend of PETA's Dan Matthews. Wiedlin had what she called a short but dramatic romance with Terry Hall of the Specials during their 1980 tour in England. Hall later sent her some lyrics prompted by their relationship, inspiring Wiedlin to write Our Lips Are Sealed, a song on which Hall has co-writer credits. Wiedlin has been married twice. Once to Jed Malone and once to David Trotter. Her first marriage was the subject of her 2000 song The Good Wife. Her current domestic partner is musician Travis Kasperbohr, whom she met at a Wisconsin music festival. She has no children. Wiedlin is an ordained minister of the Universal Life Church, a mail-order religious organization that offers anyone semi-immediate ordination as a ULC minister, free of charge. Wiedlin identifies herself as Reverend Sister Gogo, serving primarily in the capacity of officiating at weddings. Discography: studio albums, compilation albums, singles, featured singles, other releases. 1990 Pretty Woman soundtrack, Tangled, 1996 Cold, As Frosted, 2002 The Specials vs. The Untouchables, Scar's Greatest Stars, rearrangement of Our Lips Are Sealed, with The Specials, 2006 80s New Wave Hits, rearrangement of Our Lips Are Sealed, with The Specials, references. External links, JaneWiedlin.com, pay no mind to what they say. Official website, thegogos.com, official website, Jane Wiedlin. When the Go-Go's started, we were terrible musicians. Jane Wiedlin at the Internet Movie Database, interview with Jane Wiedlin, alicebag.com, September 2005, Jane Wiedlin from the Go-Go's, songfacts.com, 1007, a talk with Jane Wiedlin, retrojunk.com, Go-Go's guitarist and Wisconsin native Jane Wiedlin falls in love, buys a house and whips up a Madison band, by Rich Albertney, The Daily Page, 100 2008, William Howard Taft High School official website.